ЦИВИЛ Медиа.
I would like to start my speak with a quote from one of the prominent Jews from ex-Yugoslavia, the president of the Jewish community of the Federation of the Jews in Bosnia and Herzegovina, who, when asked while we were together in Sarajevo on a summer academy of Holocaust led by Centropa, why there is no anti-Semitism in Bosnia and why there is no anti-Semitism in Macedonia comparing to Serbia, Croatia, and Slovenia, his answer was quite sobering for me. He said, well, you see, the antagonism between the Croats, Serbs, and the Bosniaks in Bosnia is so big that nobody gives a damn about us Jews. And I was like, oops, maybe he's right. The antagonism between the Macedonians and Albanians in Macedonian society is so big that nobody gives a damn about us Jews. We are not on the radar. So when we started developing this institution, we discussed that the main purpose of this institution should not be just a museum per se, that people come here and visit the museum and see the exhibition and then they leave. The main goal is to create educational programs and activities for kids, how to combat modern days of hatred, discrimination, xenophobia, anti-Semitism, and of course, Holocaust denial or Holocaust distortion, because Holocaust is not a statistics. Nevertheless, in this 8 years since we have been established as an institution and opened the permanent exhibition, hopefully this year in March, I've come to many graffitis which display the xenophobic society within Macedonia. What does it mean, Čista Makedonia? Does this mean that Macedonia should be eco-friendly society or clean from everything else but the Macedonians? Do we have a name here? The signature is Miki and the eye is with swastikas. We have graffiti which is in Bitola, the middle one, about two people living together, but then they were crossed and swastika was written beneath it. Then we have the neo-Nazi symbols used by the president of the Macedonian World Congress, SS 1488. We all know what SS means. 14 are the numbers, are the words, which means we must secure the existence of our people and a future for our white children. 88 means Heil Hitler, and he used it in a public speech when speaking against the erection of a monument of the Albanians in Skopje, and in favor of building a cross at the same place or in a very near proximity. In front of the museum, in front of the church, the oldest church of Skopje, you can buy magnets of Hitler and Mussolini without any problem. And when I spoke to the person who sells them, he says, those are the most sellable items. So I said, is it a bit odd to sell it in front of the church and in front of a Holocaust museum? And the answer was, don't ask for it. I said, fine, I will not ask for it. Then the Jewish cemetery in Bitola, the oldest Sephardic cemetery in the Balkans. Many times they were desecrated, and on the top there is a small pillar on which you have the swastika to your left. Then we have the columns of the Portuguese synagogue, which were displaced after the war, and now they're being used as an entrance to the park. In Bitola, of course, they're repainted in different colors, and of course you can find the swastika symbol. The Israeli ambassador put a plaque marking that these are the columns from the Portuguese synagogue. Now they're repainted, and swastika symbol, you can find it on it. A school group, April Fool's Day, when James Bond is sitting with Hitler. They're 7th graders. They were in the same class with my son. One is dressed as Hitler. Does he know? No, he does not know what he's doing. Do his parents know? For sure they do. Do the teachers know? For sure they did. And what did they did? They did nothing. The kid stayed in school the whole day. When the school classes were over, he went back home. Nobody said anything about it. And of course, the conspiracy theory. The House of Rothschild and the Greeks against Macedonia. This is the most used theory about the Jews, how they are destroying this country and working against this country. And because of this, when the de-Sorosization campaign started several years ago, the Jewish community and the Holocaust Memorial Center were under attack. They were asking us to speak with Soros and with others to stop Macedonia's succession to EU and to prevent changing the name. Then they said that the Holocaust was an invention by the Rothschild and the Rockefeller families, that the Jews were gathered by them in some camps to be taught how to steal the wealth of the world. That Holocaust never existed. And at the end they said, if you don't immigrate within 10 days, you will be liquidated one by one. So that was the trigger for the Holocaust Memorial Center and for the Jewish community to start the initiative in front of the government of the Republic of Macedonia to change the criminal code. Hopefully, the criminal code was accepted by the working group within the Ministry of Justice, and now it's in front of the government. So the anti-Semitic behavior, glorification of National Socialism, Holocaust denial, and usage of National Socialist symbols are going to be penalized by the criminal code. And we thank the OSCE who also participated in writing the articles that we have submitted into to the government. So hopefully within this year we will have the criminal code being adopted within the Macedonian parliament. So let them dare speak openly about Jews, about Holocaust denial or distortion of Holocaust or spreading anti-Semitic behavior. What is also important is that it's not going to be limited only on social media or in the media itself. It's going to be included public speeches, sports events, distribution of flyers, leaflets, brochures. Hopefully, what Georgia, the printing house Georgia is doing will also be, in a sense, restricted. We cannot ban of selling books. Nevertheless, we need to see the content and why it is being distributed. And as of types of laws, the Nuremberg laws and then the final solution to the Jewish question was introduced, and then the camps were built. And then the killing started. Killing started end of 1941. But the process was since the early 30s, dehumanizing certain group of people that they're menace and evil to the society. And we will be much more happier, healthier, and have much better society if we exclude them from our neighborhood. So I think that the civil society has much to say. It is not being done enough within the civil society in confronting and combating anti-Semitism and Holocaust distortion. By that, you don't help us Jews, you help the society in general, because anti-Semitic statements are not only offensive towards me, it's offensive to all of us. Because many people who we spoke with, who had anti-Semitic statements and supporters of National Socialist ideas, we said the Jews were first in the line, Slavs were next in line. Did you know that? And they were like, oops, we didn't know that. Forming such societies of pan-Slavic National Socialist movements is quite embarrassment for the society. Obviously, we and the educational system is not doing enough to prevent this kind of behavior in our neighborhoods and in our own countries.
ЦИВИЛ Медиа